Well, as you can tell by the title, we're here to figure out my TBR for the reading rush. Alright, so the the Reading Rush 2020 starts tomorrow. I'm very excited. So let's pick my TBR. There are 7 challenges for 7 days. You are able to pair like one book with multiple challenges if it fits. And I'm definitely going to be trying to do that. I have a full 40-hour, maybe a little bit more work week ahead of me. And so I am definitely going to try to put as many books together for these challenges as possible, or as few books together as possible for these challenges. I think 3 books would be a realistic goal for me, so we'll see. So the first challenge is to read a book with a cover that matches the color of your birthstone. And I was born in April, which makes that a diamond. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. So we're gonna choose The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This kind of gives me Agatha Christie vibes. It is based on an island, I think. Or set, I said based. It's set in an island, and there's a wedding party going on, and in the midst of the reception, someone dies, and it's a question of who did it. It says the killer circulates amongst the guests. I have purposefully ignored so many reviews of this book and any like blurbs or whatever, because I've been finding lately with thrillers that the more, even sometimes reading the descriptions, like, not necessarily spoilery, but sometimes they're just off. And so I'd rather just go in knowing the bare minimum, and so that's what we're gonna do. And this, I believe, is the UK cover of the book. I ordered this from Book Depository when the US release got pushed back. It was very strange, because it was a book of the month pick, I think in January or February. And then it was supposed to be released later that month, to everybody. And then they were like, JK guys, that's not happening. And then it had already been out or had just gotten released in the UK. So I was like, cool, well, I'm just gonna go do that then. And the second book I got for the same reason, and also is a UK cover, and that's for the challenge of reading a book with "the" in the title, where it starts with the word "the." Let me see. Yeah, read a book that starts with the word "the," and so I chose The Switch by Beth O'Leary. This kind of gives me the holiday vibes, except they're family members, so obviously they know each other, and it's a little less, well, I won't say it's less dramatic because I don't know, I haven't read it yet. But a grandmother and granddaughter basically switch places. I think the granddaughter lives in London, and the grandmother lives somewhere in like a rural area, I think in Yorkshire. Yeah, rural Yorkshire. And so they kind of decided to switch lives for a couple of months, and things happen when you do that. Again, another book I've avoided as many reviews as possible, because when I read The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary last year, number 1, 5 out of 5 star book, just so good. She handles tough topics really well. And so I really am looking forward to, like, I have a feeling one of these characters probably has, been through some ish. Grandma's like 86. That's a long time to be alive. Things happen to you. And Beth O'Leary just handles things so well. But I got a little spoiled when I read, I don't think it was the general synopsis, but for me, fortunately, that book was more about character development. So I obviously didn't feel like I lost out on that aspect, but honestly, like, reading the synopsis and the reviews, like, you basically learned the entire book, almost. And so that was kind of disappointing for me, so I'm excited to dive into this one and, just see what happens. Topic number 3, or challenge 3, is gonna be interesting for me, because I normally do this in the reverse order, and I know everyone's been saying that, but topic 3 is read a book that inspired a movie you've already seen. And I don't really have that many books on my shelf here that, like, either are movies or are ones where I haven't seen and read both. And so I'm debating to either do Just Mercy by Bryan Stevenson, or or Room by Emma Donoghue. So for Just Mercy, I have not watched this movie and I have not read this book. So in theory, I could watch the movie today before the reading rush starts and then read the book after, which honestly makes me cringe. And then the other one I could do is Room by Emma Donoghue, which I also have only seen. Well, I tried to read this book when it first came out, and I want to say I got about halfway through and then I DNF'd it. So I wouldn't necessarily count this as a reread. And then same thing with the movie. I think I've tried to start it a couple of times and just haven't. And both of these things just seem traumatic as fuck to me right now. Just Mercy, because it's Bryan Stevenson, if you're not familiar with him, his whole journey into law school, he started working with the Georgia Innocence Project, I think, during law school, like to intern and, you know, get credits, do whatever that, around that, and basically just learned how shitty the American justice system is for black people, and just given everything going on right now, and honestly, even if it weren't, this is so hard to say, because when I say everything going on right now, like I think about the fact that Breonna Taylor's killers who are, you know, still walking around free right now, 2 of them still have jobs. It's wild to me, like, watching that, and I say, you know, it just feels ever present right now. It's always happening. I always hear stories about this, like, it literally never ends, and it's like, do I want to add to my own trauma this week? And I honestly really don't want to. And then with Room, this one is about a girl who gets basically kidnapped by this dude. It's the whole, you know, don't get in a car with a stranger when they tell you you're looking for a puppy situation, like literally. And then through her capture ends up having a child and raising that child in a room. Like they're in a 1-room little, I think they're in a shed or something out back. And then at some point, I think they try to escape, and it's just, it's like, do you want to read about rape in a like sordid sense of reality? Again, right now, that both of those things sound terrible. My other option, I decided to revisit Justine Rebecca and buy the Hunger Games trilogy because it was on sale at Target the other day. And I'm in the big process of rereading the Hunger Games. I have seen this movie. And I'm trying to think, I think I watched Catching Fire as well. But this is another sense where, like, I tried to read Mockingjay, and similar to the third book in Divergent, it did that thing where it flips back and forth between, I think, Katniss and somebody else. Probably Gale, or what's his face. I always forget his name. Bread Boy. Y'all know who he is. I know for sure I did not watch Mockingjay. I got into the point where I think I did watch at least part of Catching Fire, and I don't think I liked it. And I think I gave up on it. But I did really enjoy the book. And so I thought I was gonna reread all 3, but obviously I'm not gonna have time to do that this week. Like, there's just no way. Even though these are relatively short, actually that's a lie. This book is almost 400 pages, the middle one. That's so deceiving. That does not look like a 400-page book. Paperbacks lie to you sometimes, guys. And so is the last one. The last one's almost 400 pages. So again, not a great read-a-thon book, but something I could read. The last option, and probably the most realistic, I have right here. That I don't think has a movie. These all do, I believe. I have some Jane Austen and I think Emily and Charlotte Bronte, actually. This one's Emily. Yeah, Wuthering Heights is Emily Bronte. Books here. And I think I might do Wuthering Heights, actually, because this one was a book I was supposed to read in high school and only sort of did. It's less than 300 pages. And I think I have seen this movie, so I think this actually might be my choice. Thanks for going on that journey with me, guys. The print is kind of tiny, but I think that's okay. And the other thing that I was making me debate about these is because of the prequel that came out for the Hunger Games, the audiobooks for all of them are on like freaking like 19-week hold list at the library. And so I'm like, I really want to try to get things that I can do audio with. Because after work, a lot of times, like I'll take my puppy to the dog park, play with her, making dinner, things like that. Like I know I'm gonna need the audiobooks to at least switch between that and the physical copy. So I think Wuthering Heights might be a good one because, I mean, no disrespect, Emily Bronte, but I don't know that people are checking for you like that at this point. Like, you're not putting anything new out. You're not alive. Like, RIP, thank you for this book. And apologies to my high school English teacher if you're seeing this, because I definitely did not read this. I know we were supposed to, but been out of high school for a very long time, so it doesn't even matter anymore, but oops. So I think that's gonna be my challenge for book 3. Book 3 for challenge 3. And so you're saying to yourself, Rebecca, I thought you said you were gonna double up on these challenges. Or try to, and I am. We're getting there. So number 4 is read the first book you touch. I think what I'm gonna do with this is try to get through my TBR pile and then just do this randomly through in a vlog. I don't really want to go through this right now. I also have been toying with the idea of putting a number, doing like a number generator for books I have on my Kindle. I've got a lot of backlists there that I need to get through, and thinking that maybe that would be a good one, and either doing a list of them on my computer and just like touching one of them on there, or numbering them, put them in a number generator, and whatever number comes up is what I have to read. And I know that's like changing it a bit, but that's just kind of how I think. Or I'll bring it all back in here and we'll touch a book. Number 5 is to read a book completely outside of your house. And there is in the forum, if you're planning to do this and you're like, coronavirus, I don't live in a space where I feel safe doing that, totally okay. I recently got a new SUV and have been spending a lot of time in it because I just got it and I want to, I don't know. So maybe I'll read one of these books entirely sitting inside of my car. One of the ideas, I think Ariel said this in the challenges video that the Reading Rush put out. She said, even if you can't actually leave your house, like whether it's not safe for you to, you're not comfortable, insert XYZ things here, creating a space where you can kind of escape. So like, for example, what I might do is do Wuthering Heights, and on my TV, put like, I know there's a lot of like rain in this, and do like a thunderstorm or, fireplace sounds, that kind of thing, and like dramatic music, and just kind of create an environment for myself and be like, okay, when I'm reading this book, I have to be in this environment. So just be creative with that. Number 6 is read a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read more of. And I think I'm gonna use the guest list for that because I've been trying to read more whodunit kind of books. I usually typically lean towards not supernatural thrillers, because most of the time you find out that there never was a ghost in the house and that someone else was making the noises. But those kinds of things where it's like eerie and the narrator is really second guessing themselves, and not necessarily unreliable, but in that where they're like, shit, is there a ghost in here? Is this paranormal activity? Who knows? Kind of, behavior. And I tend to read the more thrillers like that, or ones like Riley Sager's, where it's like, there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Like emotional and mental warfare / maybe some physical violence. And so I've been trying to read less of that and more just like cut and dry, very like Clue-esque whodunit, like in the parlor with a candlestick and it was the Colonel kind of situation. So that one will fit that. And then number 7 is to read a book that takes place on a different continent than where you live. And The Switch is great for that because that happens in the UK and I live in the United States. There we go, doubling that up. Now, if by some miracle I get through all 3 of those quickly, I think honorable mention is going to go to The Black Flamingo, which also fits for a book that starts with the, and a book in a genre that you've always wanted to read, because I don't read a lot of YA, and I don't read a lot of queer YA, mostly because when I was of the age, and I say that loosely because I feel like you can read YA whenever you want. You could be 87 or you could be 8, like, do you? Personally, I read a lot of adult books, and that's not because I'm supposed to. It just tends to be topics I'm interested in. But when I was, you know, a tween or teen coming up, YA wasn't great. Like, no shade, some of those authors are still pumping out books to this day, and they're getting better, and they're learning, and they're growing. But it was just it was a lot of, and then she took her glasses off and she was beautiful kind of bullshit. And, you know, girls wanting boys who don't want them, which, why are we teaching teenagers to go after people who don't respect and value them? Things are getting better in that realm. You know, we didn't have the Angie Thomases. Becky Abertali was not writing. Nick Stone, which, a queen. If by some means she watches this, like somehow someone goes, hey, go watch Rebecca's video. Nick Stone, I love you. You are a queen. Absolutely fantastic. I could actually go on a whole rant about how there's room for multiple Black authors talking about their experiences through books, and that publishing houses can pick all of them up because we're not all the same. Just because The Hate U Give came out before Dear Martin doesn't mean there's not room for both of them. I mean, those 2 women are like best friends. Have you seen their lives together? Clearly they're rooting for one another. Why can't the publishing houses? Anyway, you know, diversify publishing, please. I know y'all are trying, do better. So those are all 7 challenges and a little rant about racism in publishing. You're welcome. So I hope you follow me along later this week for your vlogs. And if you're participating in the reading rush, come tell me in the comments what you're gonna do for your TBR. Are you flying by the seat of your pants? Are you gonna go in with like an ambitious list? Let's see it. Okay, so I'll see y'all later this week and good luck. Bye.